it's Allison of Dreamweaver Designs, and today on Thinking Outside the Box, I would like to introduce you to some new molds on the market. These are created by Zuri Designs, that's Z-U-R-I Designs, and they are absolutely fantastic. The detail and the quality of these molds and the designs in them are unlike anything I've ever seen. I'm really excited about these molds, and they are coming out with new molds every, pretty much every month. So this set is the Lovable Bugs, and it comes with a couple Beetles, and look at the design on that. Just incredible. These molds can be put in the oven up to 464 degrees. They are freezer safe. They're no stick, so you don't need to spray anything in the mold to release. They can be used with polymer clay, with two-part epoxy resins, with quick cure clay or air dry clay. They can also be used with fondant for decorating cakes and cupcakes. I've actually seen people make cookies with them by pouring or putting some cookie batter into the molds and baking them. And this is the butterfly and the bee. And these molds are silicone. Now they are food grade silicone. However, if you've put polymer clay or resin in these, do not use them for food. You have to have separate molds to use for food, because once you've put, a crafting medium into it, I would not eat anything out of it. So just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and pull these out so that we can look at them a little closer. And this is the butterfly and the bee. And if you can see all the incredible detail in these molds. And they're nice, thick molds, nice and flat on the back. So you're going to get a nice, even product out of these. And this one is the Lovable Bugs. And it has a beetle, or a couple beetles. I think that's a beetle with wings. But look at that design. It is just incredible. And I can't wait to show you what I've created with these. So in this video, I am going to show you how I use them with polymer clay. And I have not mastered, because these molds are so detailed with all these little legs and stuff jutting out. I have not mastered demolding, even freezing the polymer clay and then demolding to get the absolute perfect mold. So my preference is to bake the clay directly in the molds, and each time you will get a perfect bug. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up with the supplies needed, and I am going to show you how I fill the molds with polymer clay. All right, so what you're going to need is a clay blade, obviously your molds, a tile, and that is what we're going to bake. We're going to place these molds onto the tile and bake with that. And what my preference for these molds, because they are so intricate, is a softer polymer clay. And I like to use the Sculpey Souffle. And this is in poppy seed, which is black. And I'm using, you could use scrap clay, depending on how you're going to finish your piece off. If you want to use micas in the end, you can mix them in a glaze, and I would suggest using the black clay for that. But if you're going to cover your piece completely and decorate it, you can use just scrap clay. So you don't have to use the black souffle. That's just what I'm going to use for this tutorial. And in the end, I'll show you what I created with all 4 of these molds. And I did that I decorated them with the technique from my previous tutorial. I'm not going to do it in this tutorial. This is strictly to show you how I fill the molds, and then we'll bake it, and then we'll demold it. And then to decorate it, it will be in the tutorial just before this one, and I'll also put a link to it in the description below this video. So let me go ahead and condition some of this clay, and we'll get started filling a mold. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the bee. And what I've done is I've just conditioned clay, and I'll have it off to the side. And we are going to start by filling in all the little legs and the antenna. And what I like to do is just pull off some of the clay and condition it with my fingers a little more, and then I'll roll it into a ball, and then we're going to make a log. Because what we're going to do is fill in these little legs first. So I'm going to make it as thin as each leg. And you just take your snake that you've made and go ahead and line it up and push it down in there. And I like to do this twice to make sure that it is pushed all the way in. And you just go around and do that to all of them. So I'm probably just going to speed up here so you don't have to watch me in real time. All right, now we have all of our legs in and our antenna, and I'm just going to push down on all of it. Make sure that it's in there nice and deep, and that one came out, which is fine. We can stick it back in there. And it wants to be a bugger, but that's okay. We are going to take our time with this because we want it to be perfect when we demold it. Go ahead and put this other one back in. And it was sticking to my fingers, so that's why it pulled right out. So I'm going to wipe my fingers off. Go ahead and push that back in. All right, so now we want to get the rest of the body. And what I like to do is take some clay, and you're kind of going to form it into the shape of what you're going to fill. So I like to round it, get it a little warm, and go ahead and push it into that area. And we'll do it the same on the other side. Get a little more clay. And you'll do that with all the rest of the piece, so I'll go ahead and speed this up. All right, now you're just going to take your time and see all these little lines that we have. We need to get rid of those to make sure that we've gotten rid of them beneath too, where it meets the design. You only want the design impression left on your clay. So you're pushing kind of hard to eliminate any of those connections of clay. And if you don't see them on the back, you're not going to see them on the front. So this is the part where you just take your time and push everything in, make sure it's all even and that every space is filled. All right, this little spot here, I need a little more clay. And there's actually a couple spots that could use a little more. So you just add that and push it. Add and push. And we'll do one more in the middle, right in here. And if you go over a little, that's fine, because we're going to clean that up right now. I just want to push these in as much as I can. All right, now we're going to take our blade and you're going to lay it flat on the mold, not going down, just laying it flat. And you're going to run your blade across the top to get up any of the excess clay. So you want to be careful that you just lay your blade flat so you don't cut into your mold. And you're going to do that from every direction, getting up just that excess clay off the top. And now you're going to go ahead and push again. Now I know there's two little spots in here. I see one, but I need to get that other because that's actually like an area that's open in the mold and it's just a very teeny spot. So I'm going to run my blade over that to make sure that that comes up. And then that way we're not losing any detail to our mold. And now you see the two dots of where the mold is coming up. Get just a little bit more on this one. And then go ahead and push. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go around the mold and make sure that we are not going over the edge anywhere, because the more you clean your edges along here and the clay isn't overlapping, you won't have any cleanup when you demold this. So you want to go around the whole mold and make sure that nothing is going over. And I can see right here, I have just a little bit going over. So we'll go ahead and get that off of there. And then again, flatten out again. Do this one last time. And we'll do a check again to make sure that no clay is going over so that we don't have any cleanup. I want to make sure the clay is going down into his little stinger. And that looks good. Now, this doesn't have to be completely flat back here, because whatever you're going to put this on, you're not going to see the back of it. So if this isn't completely smooth, that's fine. If you want to completely smooth it out, you can do that too. So I have my two little dots there where the mold is coming up, and it looks like all my edges are clean. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on my tile, and because you want it to stay flat. And I'm going to put this in my oven at 275 for 1 hour. And once it's out of the oven, you're going to want to let it cool off for about 20 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and demold it. So I will be back. All right, our mold is out of the oven, and it's been sitting for about 20 minutes to cool off. And now we are going to demold. And how I do that is just kind of lightly lift or push away the edges while holding it down in the middle a little, and then just carefully pull out from both sides. And there you go. All the detail is in there. We don't see any lines from the clay that we squished down. All of the little antennae and feet are in place, and everything looks good. Now you would just take this and decorate it any way that you wish, with acrylic paints or with the Ranger opaque dyes that I showed you earlier. You can use Inca Gold. You can also take mica powder and mix it in some varathane or some glaze, and take your finger and wipe it across the top. Another reason that I like using the Sculpey Souffle is because it is a flexible clay. So your piece will still be flexible, which will help in preventing any legs or antenna from getting broken off. You could decorate this, and this is a jar candle. Once decorated, you can put it on the top of your jar candle. And I was going to save this for the end, but I'll go ahead and show you the bee that I decorated. And that's it there. You can use a little E6000 to put it onto the lid here. And that makes for a great Mother's Day gift or birthday gift, or for anybody you choose to give a gift to for their birthday or whatever. So that's it. I'm going to show you at the end the other 3 that I created using these Zuri molds, these wonderful molds. And it will just be a quick little video of the other 3, including the bee. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it inspired you. I will have links for these molds in the description below this video, so if you want to purchase them, you'll know exactly where to get them. So thank you again for watching. I hope that you're inspired. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, share it, and until next time, thank you.